What up, YouTube family? Before we get into it, I just want to let all my supporters know that I appreciate every one of y'all. If it wasn't for y'all, this channel wouldn't even exist. Thank you for all the support. Make sure you check out my Patreon right now, and you can become a member for $2.99 only. And you could get them uncut versions of my documentaries and videos, and you could get the early release, so make sure you check that out. I just want to let all my supporters know that I worked really hard on this documentary, and I'm gonna be putting out more content from here on out. Thank you for all my supporters that are still here and that are still checking my stuff out and messaging me and letting me know that they're still here and letting me know that they still support my channel. I put my all into this documentary and took my time until I did it the right way, and this is exactly how I want to do my Mac Dre documentary. Everybody keeps asking me when it's going to come out, but I just want to do it the right way and make sure that it comes out correctly, and I want to have a little more experience on what I do so it comes out perfect for y'all. Anyways, check out my Patreon right now for $2.99. You could become a member. Check that out right now. I'll put the link in the description. Anyways, let's get to this video.
Well, really, I mean, it's deep, you know.
It's from an inmate facility.
The song is like based on, you know, there's something going on between me and bruh. Me and bruh was like the last niggas left up on the Dre after Dre left. You know, it's me, MD, Cutthroat 3 was gone. So 1/3 Cutthroat, 2/3 Cutthroat was still left. You feel me? And being that we got caught up around the same time, I was in the PM when he called his shit, you know, I kind of came home rocking for the nigga like me, you know.
I choke slam, sucker, smack out time so I can take it back to when they get stupid with rhyming. 4 cutties in the car gigging, 4 cutties till Josh Wiggin.
I'm your key witness.
Witness of what?
Of a murder in the house.
I rock a room, but he wasn't no pilot. On the first album cover, that young black brother, you ain't seen that nigga on that album cover.
It's my shit, man. It's driving shit right here. That's what I love.
I'm right here. I'm gonna get in front of the house, right there in front of your mama's house, clown.
Hug you, bruh, glad you back, woo woo. The nigga, while we talking, I tell him, I say, bruh, I ain't finna just grin in your face and don't tell you what niggas saying. Niggas saying you ain't supposed to be out, bruh. Niggas saying that it's fucked up.
That incident in the airport, Sacramento, 08, July 14. Alleged had pills on me. I ended up convicted on that. They gave me 46 months. Fair time, you know what I'm saying? Most of this was done in the county.
Get pulled over in the airport with 6,000 pills. And basically, he just started talking, and he got a full investigation put on the whole nation, basically.
Nigga, when you asked me who you told on, you wanted to see if I knew you told on me. Cause I was the one you told on. Well, one of them. It already was circulating that you had told on another little nigga from the spot that got caught up in the Oklahoma shit.
The both sides of the gate, hey, we put that shit up. Not Dre. That motherfucker wasn't pissed to the cutty pass.
I got the paperwork on this nigga. Yeah, this PSD nigga. I'm looking at it right now, my nigga. Yeah, I got the one where it's basically his name is in one, and then the other one is just saying CS to let you know that it's the same person. Yeah, I'm gonna bring you the paperwork, man. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm gonna let you read it for yourself. Rat bastard.
What up, YouTube family? Before I start this video, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting this channel. I'm really trying to reach my goal to 100K subscribers. Hopefully I can make it there in a couple months. I know I haven't been dropping too much content lately, but trust me, I have so much dope videos coming out soon. I've been holding on to the Mac Dre documentary so it comes out perfect, and I'll drop it when it's the right time, so trust me, it's gonna be big. I also have a dope documentary dropping soon about the Sacramento rapper Briss, who was killed in 2020. That one's gonna be dope as hell because no one has actually done a documentary about the whole story. And I'm also gonna be doing a Woody documentary that's gonna be dope as hell also. So trust me when I tell you that I got some crazy documentaries on the way. I really want to start dropping one video every week, like at least a small video for y'all, and then like a documentary once or twice a month. If you're really rocking with this channel, make sure you subscribe right now or drop a comment on something you want me to do in the future in this channel. And make sure you follow me on Instagram. You can also DM me on some ideas or anything you want me to touch on this channel or anything you just want to speak on. I post a lot of stuff on Instagram that I don't post on YouTube, so make sure you check that out. I've been trying to work on my Instagram lately so I could build a bigger following on there. Anyways, let's get to this video. Today we're going to Vallejo, California. So I was gonna save this whole story for the Mac Dre documentary, but I just decided to make this video separately, and I'll still add it to my Mac Dre documentary since it's related to DRE'S Nation and Mac Dre. So we're just gonna start this story off when Mac Dre was released from federal prison after doing a 5-year stretch for conspiracy to rob a bank along with Jay Diggs and Kilo Kurt. Mac Dre was released from Lompoc prison in 1996, and as soon as he came home, he got straight to business. His first appearance and his first song he did was featured on Dubee's album that was self-titled Dubee aka Sugar Wolf in 1996. Dubee allowed Mac Dre to have a full song on his album with no Dubee rapping on it, and the song was called Game I'm Spittin'. Mac Dre definitely appreciated Dubee for looking out for him on that album. Mac Dre also started his own record label called Romp Records and dropped a Northern California classic called Mac Dre Presents the Rompilation that also featured multiple Northern California rappers, mostly from the Crestside and Vallejo, and rappers from all over the Bay Area. This album was a big success and did great in sales for an independent artist like Mac Dre. It was Mac Dre's first project he dropped since he has been released from prison. Mac Dre had his folks from the Crestside on that album, known rappers like Dubee, Coolio the Underdog, Mac Mall, and other rappers. One rapper that stood out on that album was rapper PSD the DRIVAH. PSD's real name is Steve Davison. He was a little younger than Mac Dre and was also repping the Crestside, but was originally from Mississippi. PSD the DRIVAH even had his own solo track featured on the Rompilation album called Menage a Trois, which was a slapper. This is when the Mac Dre fans first heard of the rapper PSD, which stood for Professional Street Driver. PSD definitely made a great impression on the Rompilation album with the song Menage a Trois. The song was also the first song of the album and definitely set up the album with a great start. PSD was just rapping some player shit with a smooth tone and a slapping beat. For sure, some hard ass player shit Mac Dre would have on his album. PSD must have had a positive reaction from that album because not too long after, in September 16th, 1997, he dropped his first solo album called Game Costs. This first solo PSD album wasn't off Mac Dre's new label Romp Records. The album was put out by Swerve Records and Mac Dre wasn't even featured on the album. It was safe to say that PSD was trying to do his own thing. The song Menage a Trois off the Mac Dre Rompilation album was also featured on that PSD Game Cost album, the song that birthed his rap career. So to backtrack a little in this story, although PSD was originally from Mississippi, he came to Vallejo in his teens. PSD never repped Mississippi and repped a part of the Crest called Gateway, which is a street named in the Crestside. Although they was all from the Crest, they was all from different crews. Like Mac Dre was from the Romp, Dubee and Mac Mall was from 5 Trade 5, and PSD was from Crew Thang. Mac Dre had caught a parole violation in 1997 and had to do around a year in prison. When Mac Dre was released in 1998, he moved to Sacramento to get away from the Bay Area since the police had it out for him. Mac Dre got right back to business and didn't have time to be wasting going back and forth to prison, so moving to Sacramento was a smart move. Mac Dre dropped his second solo studio album called Stupid Doo Doo Dumb off his label Romp Records in April 1998. Mac Dre then drops his third solo studio album called Rapper Gone Bad in August of 1999. PSD was featured in this album on a song called Valley Joe. This was a good look for PSD being featured on such a successful album and also gained him more fans. PSD also dropped 2 solo albums in 1999 called What It Is and Breadhead. The year 1999 was a really important year for Mac Dre. This is the year everything changed in a major way. Mac Dre had a bright idea to start his own new record label. Mac Dre's partner Deacon, who was in charge of Romp Productions, was in prison around this time. Also, Mac Dre wanted a record label that didn't have the Romp in it, since the Romp name was being problematic for Mac Dre. Ever since the police named the Romp crew the Romper Room Gang, Mac Dre founded and established the independent record label DRE'S Entertainment, which started a movement that forever changed the Northern California rap scene. Mac Dre had his whole camp behind him, supporting everything he did. Fast forward to the year 2000, Mac Dre wanted a three-man rap group, since Bay Area rap groups like 3 Times Crazy was doing their thing at the time. So Mac Dre partnered up with Crest rapper Dubee and PSD the Driver, and they started the group CUTTHOAT Committee. The CUTTHOAT Committee dropped their first album as a trio called Turf Buccaneers in February 2001, and it was produced mostly in KC Mo, starting in 1999. This album again was a good look for PSD, showing the world that he was a part of a 3-man group with Mac Dre. A story that the true fact is that when Mac Dre started the group CUTTHOAT Committee with Dubee and PSD, the late great Soulja Slim from New Orleans thought that Mac Dre copied the name CUTTHOAT Committee off of him, since that was the name of Slim's record label. But this in fact wasn't true, because the first CUTTHOAT Committee album dropped in 2001. And Mac Dre's manager Stretch said in an interview Mac Dre started recording the Turf Buccaneer album in Kansas City Mo the year 1999. Soulja Slim started his record label CUTTHOAT Committee Records in late 2002. Plus, CUTTHOAT is a slang word they use in the Crest for years. In 2002, PSD dropped another album called All I Want, which Mac Dre was featured on one song. PSD was also featured on Mac Dre's compilation album Mac Dammit Man and Friends, called City Slickers. Also that year, Mac Dre dropped one of his most iconic albums in his career. This album is when Mac Dre fell back on his gangsta image to take on a more rockstar hippie / pimp rapper persona. The name of the album was Thizzle Washington, one of his alter egos, which the name was given to him by Oakland rapper Yuckmouth.
For those who don't know, my name is Thizzle Washington. Thizzle Washington. This thing, I just out of the main about 5-10 minutes ago. So it's kicking in right about now.
The Thizzle Washington album cover was Mac Dre doing the iconic Mac Dre stance, rocking out his big afro and stunning glasses with a colory psychedelic background. This album put Mac Dre on another level when his biggest song to date, called Thizzle Dance, quickly began to blow up. Mac Dre followed up with the iconic DVDs called Trill TV in 2003 and 23109 Exhibition of Speed in 2004. These DVDs blew up Mac Dre and everyone else from Thizz on a whole other level. These rappers didn't have social media like Instagram at the time, so this was the first time the whole world was able to see how they lived. PSD was featured on both of these DVDs, which was a major look for the rapper.
A lot of smoke, man. Not just weed, tire smoke. A lot of folk clowning. Some tight shit, man. Posy everything. Big block everything. We small block. Something in the steering wheel though. You don't know what you're doing. Cats out there just clowning, having a good time.
This is my shit, man. Driving shit right here. That's what I love.
Man, they call me the driver because my nuts big. I don't go to the corner. I'm right here. I'm gonna get in front of the house, right there in front of your mama's house, clown. Figure age. Whichever way you want me to go. And I'm gonna do what I want to and get away with it. A lot of cats get on the gas flood, he bog down in the swing, too much smoke, you don't know where you at, moving all slow. All you do is paddle. I got it's in the steering wheel, man. That's for real, it's in the steering wheel. So y'all put all that, trying to flood out, you ain't doing nothing, man. It's all here, you wanna go this way, you get off the gas, you show out. What you gonna do? That's some shit ass shit. And stay off in the middle of the corner, man. Learn how to get in front of the house. If you can't get in front of the house, I don't think it's sufficient for you to be in the side show shit. You know, fucking shit, period.
Fine woman, man. She don't mean no trouble. She from the Bay Area though. She from all over. I said, where you from? Oh, Bay Area. But I'm out from Chicago. What she mean? Well, look what I say. Got milk? Yeah. I need some cookies.
At this point, Mac Dre was the biggest thing coming out of Northern California. PSD also dropped an album that year called You Ain't Heard of Me, which Mac Dre was featured on the song Hungry.
I make a phone call, my partner got plug on the pussy on the pounds. I'm a pimp, he a pimp, that's how we get down.
PSD would be featured on most of the Mac Dre and DRE'S projects in the year 2004. But in that same year is when the unfortunate and the unexpected would happen when Bay Area legend Mac Dre was shot and killed in Kansas City, Missouri. In the early hours of November 1st, 2004, after being out in Kansas City for a few days doing shows with other Northern California rappers, a lot of drama unfolded out there where other rappers like Yuckmouth jumped on the plane and came back to California early. Mac Dre and his crew ended up staying in Kansas City to do a couple more shows and planned to come back to Sacramento on that day of November 1st. This was gonna be a big day for Mac Dre because on this same day, he would be moving from his Sacramento residence to his new residence that he was moving to in the Bay Area city, Sausalito. Mac Dre was literally about to get the keys to his new place on that day of November 1st. I'll be speaking on this whole situation in great details on my Mac Dre documentary. An actual fact not much people know is PSD was seen on one of the first 48 episodes. PSD can be seen on the first 48 season 1 episode 3 called Swope Park Killing that was recorded in Kansas City, Mo, and released in June 17, 2004. The episode is about a man that goes by Debo, real name Russell Clark, who was left for dead after being shot and killed with a .38 special. After the police found out where the house was at that Debo was shot in, they go over there pulling everyone out of the house and detaining them. When the police are investigating and have everyone that was detained sitting on the ground in front of the house, you can see PSD with his face blurred out, wearing a red jacket and tin boots. The owner of the house where the man was shot at instantly demands to talk to the police right then and there. This man, who was the homeowner, is named Sean Winston, a known Kansas City drug dealer and snitch who was close friends with PSD the driver. This was the reason why PSD was at that house and seen Debo get killed. When Sean Winston jumps in the police car to be questioned about the murder, he begins to snitch off top to the police before he even got to the station. Sean Winston didn't even care about snitching while being filmed for the episode after telling the police there was 4 guns in the house and that he was their key witness for the murder. Sean Winston even tells the police that he was a millionaire, which was true after Sean allegedly ran off on his Mexican plug for 50 kilos of dope.
Patrolmen have detained 10 men for questioning.
Really agitated, and he wants right now he's not talking anymore.
In a squad car sits the homeowner, who claims someone was killed at his house last night.
Go get my father to get the warrant. Get signed, whatever you need. Cause you go in my house, my lawyer's gonna eat the police department up. I got that much money, I'm a millionaire.
What's your name?
My name is Sean Andrew Winston. There's 4 guns in the house.
Tell me what happened.
I'm your key witness.
Witness of what?
Of a murder in the house.
Who out of the people that's sitting out there now knows what you know about what happened to this guy last night?
We know the guy.
The dead guy? What's the dead guy's name? What do you call him?
I don't know, Debo, I don't know his name.
When police take Sean Winston to the station, he snitches again, telling them who exactly shot and killed Debo.
He says that they were there last night. He says the victim comes in there and he's got his gun. I said, which lady in the house with a gun for? He goes, we know him. We know he carries a gun. We all know each other. We grew up around there together, so we didn't think anything about it. He said, but the next thing I know, they're all wrestling around on the floor and they're beating it. He said Damon did the shooting last night. He says that they loaded him up and took him away. So Sean is saying that Damon Jones actually did the murder.
So let's rewind a little bit and speak on who Sean Winston is and how PSD became real close friends with him. You can't tell the PSD story without mentioning Sean Winston. Allegedly, one time when PSD's partner was out in Kansas City, he called PSD and told him there was a dude out there named Sean that looked just like him paying rappers for verses, and that he needs to get out there to KC from California. PSD then arrives to Kansas City to meet Sean Winston and they become close friends.
Sean was a known KC hustler who became a millionaire when he allegedly ran off on the Mexican Connect for 50 kilos. After that big come up, Sean was balling big. He would take a bunch of people out the same time and pay for everything like it was nothing. So when he said he was a millionaire on the first 48, he definitely wasn't lying. Not only did Sean Winston snitch on camera on the first 48 episode, he also snitched on a well-known Kansas City gangster named Steve Wright, aka Moody. Sean has a brother named Brandon Winston who rapped by the name 40 Cal. PSD helped and presented an album off internal records called The Mow Down Movement, Pull the Tractors Around, which featured Sean's brother 40 Cal. 40 Cal even had his own song on the compilation album called Bullets Sing Lala, featuring PSD and San Quinn. Allegedly, Sean's brother 40 Cal is also a known snitch for ratting on someone in the 90s after getting caught up with some dope. Why would PSD even hang with these two well-known snitches like this? If I would have seen my own partner on the first 48 ratting on camera like it was nothing, I would have had an issue with that and cut him off. PSD would also allegedly still serve ecstasy pills to Brandon Winston, aka 40 Cal, knowing he was a rat. PSD made a lot of money in Kansas City with Sean. It is said that Sean didn't actually put on PSD, but he put a lot of bucks in his pockets. PSD definitely bossed up around this time in KC, and a lot of it was because of this baller rat who looked just like him. The fact that PSD would still associate and do business with a couple of known snitch brothers makes you question yourself on what type of person PSD can really be. It's almost like as long as they didn't snitch on him, it's all good. But you know what they say, if you hang with snitches, you a snitch too. This alone shows you PSD's character in many ways. This should have been red flags on what PSD had in stores for the future. Fast forward to 2005, this nation continued to go hard, putting out projects after projects and recruiting new rappers from all over the Bay Area. Kilo Kurt was taking charge since the death of Mac Dre. Kilo Kurt always played his part and helped Mac Dre with the whole DRE'S movement. Mac Dre was bigger than ever after his death. Everyone in Northern California was heavily influenced on Mac Dre. This was the era of the HYPHY movement. A lot of Northern California rappers ran off with Mac Dre's style, but none of it worked out for anyone like it did for Mac Dre. You would see rappers who rapped hard gangsta music their whole rap career start wearing stunner shades and dropping HYPHY albums just out of the blue. Selsky from Frisco had a couple HYPHY projects. Even the group Zionai, who did nothing but hip-hop backpack type rap, just randomly dropped a HYPHY album with scrapers all in the front of his cover art. Too Short and E40 definitely jumped into the HYPHY movement and even made millions off it. E40 even grew dreads like Mac Dre. All of these rappers felt like just because they're from the Bay Area, they could just start rapping HYPHY since it was so trendy and everybody else in the Bay was doing it. Mac Dre just did it effortlessly and without trying. You just knew he was being himself and everything he did was authentic. Mac Dre never came off as corny like how the HYPHY movement turned out to be. That's why the HYPHY movement didn't make it past 2008, because nobody was gonna take Northern California serious. With grown-ass men running around with helmets on, looking like jolly dancy cornballs. I honestly don't know where any of that came from, because I never seen Mac Dre doing nothing like that when he was alive. A lot of these rappers just took going dumb a little too far, and it's definitely the reason why the HYPHY movement died out so fast. None of it felt like what Mac Dre had started. Don't get me wrong, I came up in that era, but a lot of it became corny as hell. Let me get back on track with the main story. So in 2005, this nation was taking over and putting on a lot of rappers from the Bay like Mr. Fab, Bav Gay, Johnny Cash, Cuzzo Fly, Crest Creepers, Hygy Springers, and way more. PSD dropped the album PS Classics and The Guru. That year, the second Cutthroat Committee album dropped called Money is Motive, which was one of Mac Dre's final projects he worked on before his death. In 2006, Trill TV 2 was released. which showed how big Mac Dre and Thizz Nation became. PSD was also featured on this DVD.
Yeah, you see me. You understand me? The prettiest thing since Muhammad Ali in the rap. PSD, the driver, the cuts, the overdose. And welcome y'all to Trill TV 2. Got some never before seen footage of my man, the Fur. We got the Thizz Nation coming through. It's gonna be love, man. Check this out. This first segment, we're gonna go and digest this one, man. It's the memorial, right? For the cuts, when we went on to the upper room, the love came from around the world to the memorial we had in Fairfield, California. Check this out.
Baby gotta wait for me to bend her. Ranks through the snowstorm, summer out of winter. Cutthroat, 1/3, that's my word. PSD the guru, keep it Mac for fur.
In 2007, PSD, Keek the Sneak, and Messy Marv dropped a popular album together called The Business. Not too long after, the Thizz Block Report DVD came out, where everyone associated with Thizz showed their hoods from all over the Bay in Sacramento. PSD had his own segment where he showed his hood and the crest.
PSD the driver, man. Welcome to my turf, baby. Country Club Crestline. Got the ghetto behind me, man. Country Club Crest, we at the Crest Park. Tuesdays and Thursdays, man. Police come through on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's why I'm up here, ain't got no license. Scooting around in a spaceship, you understand me? Doing all the cool shit. It's a Mercedes Benz, it's 550, like 07 shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like light years ahead of my time. You know what I'm saying? We in 2006 though, on leather gripping grain point. And the Crest is different because it's like the mecca of a lot of little sands and a lot of, you know what I'm saying, a lot of gang. Like the trendset neighborhood, man. I'm from Mississippi, I came in '88. It's like my first stop, and I've been stuck ever since, man. Just love this shit.
Now this is where the story turns into a sticky situation. I had to give y'all a quick rundown about PSD's rap career and what he did in the streets, but this is where the main part of the story starts.
Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to my channel right now if you're feeling this content.
On July 14, 2008, Vallejo rapper PSD the Driver, real name Steven Davison, who was 34 years old at the time, had arrived to the Sacramento International Airport and had attempted to board a flight to Oklahoma. While at the airport, PSD had to go through a security checkpoint just like everyone else who was boarding a flight before entering the boarding terminal. A security checkpoint is when the airport staff checks your belongings physically and makes you go through a screening, which works like when someone gets x-rays done at the doctors. They also make you go through a metal detector, while sometimes airport police stand by with their canines. Not sure if they had canines that day, but screeners selected PSD for pre-screening. And during the screening, Transportation Security Administration agents, also known as TSA, discovered a bulge in PSD's inner right leg after a pat search, which he claimed was a colostomy bag, also known as a dookie bag. He then began to attempt to leave, at which time a TSA supervisor security screener informed PSD that he will be examined in a private screening area, believing that he had a justified medical condition. PSD attempted to leave again, and then he asked to go to the restroom while acting nervous. TSA screeners contacted and requested Sacramento Sheriff's deputies' assistance at that point. Once in the private room, a Sacramento County Sheriff's deputy searched PSD and found a stack of $100 bills that totaled to $5,600 in his front pocket. During the search, PSD changed his story about the contents of the bag in his pants, which at first he claimed it was a dookie bag. PSD then tells the authorities that the bag contained vitamins, and then he changed his story once again, saying it was a bag of ice. As his behavior became increasingly suspicious, the sheriff's deputy decided to handcuff PSD. PSD then reached into his pants while handcuffed and removed the bag, which contained 1,000 ecstasy pills, and handed it to the sheriff deputy. A TSA screener later discovered another 5,000 ecstasy pills that PSD had stuffed in the corner of the private screening room, where he had been alone for a short time prior to the search. The ecstasy pills were colored green with the emblem of a female body on each pill. PSD was then arrested and taken to the Sacramento main jail on multiple felony charges like possession with intent to distribute ecstasy, drug trafficking and smuggling, evidence of intent to distribute, conspiracy and attempt, plus other charges, which are all federal crimes that come with harsher penalties. PSD also had priors where he was convicted for crimes. In 1996, he was arrested and convicted for firearms. He was also arrested for multiple DUI charges. This alone could be a reason why he would have to serve more time in prison. PSD was not allowed to bail due to being a flight risk. PSD was also facing 20 years in the feds. The federal conviction rate in the United States is about 95%, plus you have to do all your time in prison. Things weren't looking good for PSD. Well, at least we thought so. With that amount of pills on him, it was no telling how long PSD would get in the feds. This was a major crime due to the fact that he tried to smuggle them onto an airplane, and on top of that, he was already a felon with prior felony convictions. PSD was expected to at least do around 8 to 10 years straight in the feds, even though he was facing 20 years. Again, so we all thought. Stephen Davidson, aka PSD the DRIVAH, sat in Sacramento County Jail for some time during the whole court process. After so long, he went to court and was found guilty for the 6,000 ecstasy pills that he was caught with in the Sacramento airport, and was sentenced to do the remaining time in a federal prison. For some reason, it wasn't clear on how long PSD was sentenced to prison. No one from his camp said how long he got, and it was just known that he had to do some prison time. But for the severity of his crime, everyone was just expecting him to do at least an 8 to 10 year sentence. Again, PSD was facing 20 years in a federal prison. Dubee from DRE'S, who is one of the 3 out of the Cutthroat committee, was supporting and rooting for PSD at first. Fast forward to the year 2012, Dubee was hearing from individuals in the Crest that PSD was on his way home from prison too early, and that he went all bad. At first, Dubee wasn't believing it, especially without any paperwork to prove it. Dubee said on an interview that he was even arguing with someone named Dane Peterson over the whole PSD situation.
It's Cutthroat committee. Dre dead. PS, it's me and you, that's all left. When I'm in county jail and I hear about PS case, I'm still rooting for him. When I come home and motherfuckers on the block like, bruh finna come home, man, he ain't supposed to be home right this fast. I'm out there, nigga, what you talking about? Bro, I'm telling you, Suge, you just don't want to admit it, man. I'm telling you, man, he didn't went bad. Nigga, you can't say that without no paperwork. But you just mad cause the nigga, what the nigga fuck one of your bitches or something? I'm in Mike Fish yard on Simonton, arguing with Dane Peterson, which ended up being one of my co-defendants. We arguing over the PSD shit. I'm telling you, you can't say this without no paperwork, nigga. What is your ground for saying this?
After doing 46 months in jail and prison, which is basically 4 years, Stephen Davidson, aka PSD the DRIVAH, was released from federal prison in 2012, but something wasn't right. He came home a lot sooner than what everyone expected. At this time, it was just rumors floating around about PSD allegedly snitching to get out of prison early. No paperwork was produced just yet to prove these allegations. As soon as PSD got home from prison, he called Dubee. Dubee answered the phone with excitement since he hasn't seen or talked to PSD for a while. Dubee tells PSD to meet him at the gym, but PSD declined and told Dubee to meet him at Buffalo Wild Wings. Dubee then agrees to meet PSD. When Dubee arrives to the restaurant, PSD was there waiting for him. Dubee then greets PSD with a hug and tells him that he's glad that he's back home. Dubee didn't beat around the bush and told PSD what the word is in the streets and that people are saying that he shouldn't be out of prison. PSD then looks at Dubee and tells him, "I don't got no co-defendants. Who did I tell on?"
When PS came home, he called my phone. I'm happy that he got home. It's my nigga. As soon as I hear his voice, I'm like, bruh, this ain't my nigga. What's up, bruh? I'm on my gym shit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, okay, the nigga probably gotta have some clean fun. You wanna fuck with me? I'm finna go to the gym. Nah, I ain't tripping on no gym whistle. Meet me at Buffalo Wild Wings, which is right by the gym. Cool, I'll meet you. I got my gym clothes on. I go right to Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm gonna go to the gym after I fuck with you. So, he buy me a drink, buy some appetizers, we talking. Huggy, bruh, glad you back, woo woo. The nigga, while we talking, I tell him, I say, bruh, I ain't finna just grin in your face and don't tell you what niggas are saying. Niggas saying you ain't supposed to be out, bruh. Niggas saying that it's fucked up. My nigga looked at me dead in my eyes and say, Wisdom, I don't got no co-defendants. Who I told on? I'm like, nigga, I don't know. I'm just telling you what they saying.
Fast forward to April 2012, all hell broke loose. Not too long after PSD the driver got out of prison, the unfortunate happened when a number of arrests had occurred in a major federal investigation into drug trafficking throughout the country. According to court documents, agents arrested a total of 25 individuals in Vallejo, Stockton, Fairfield, Oakland, Los Angeles, New York, and Oklahoma City. Some of those arrested are Vallejo-based rappers and associates of DRE'S Entertainment. During the investigation, agents seized approximately 45,000 MDMA pills, 4 pounds of crack cocaine, a half pound of heroin, and 200,000 in suspected drug money. Agents also forfeited 230 acres of property valued at around $1 million. Agents also executed 3 federal search warrants and seized 5 pounds of marijuana, a loaded firearm, a 2010 Audi A6, and an Audi S5. Agents seized $67,238 in Vallejo and $6,831 in Sacramento during the service of the federal search warrant. According to the authorities, the DEA-led investigation uncovered a network of drug distributors working in the Crest neighborhood of Vallejo, along with individuals transporting large quantities of drugs outside of California to make a larger profit. The police also said a number of the subjects of the investigation performed as rappers under the entertainment label known as DRE'S Nation. The FBI said DRE'S Entertainment originally, but Mac Dre was the owner and the only rapper signed to DRE'S Entertainment, which is now owned by his mother Wanda Salvato after the death of Mac Dre. So Mac Dre's label had nothing to do with the arrests. The police just like to always use Mac Dre's name when it comes to negative situations like this 2012 case. The FBI kept putting a connection between the few individuals that were arrested in this case and when the Romper Room crew, including Mac Dre, were taken down in the early 90s for bank robbery and conspiracy to rob a bank. This was just to give Mac Dre and his record label negative press just because the authorities had it out for Mac Dre and would do anything just to bring up Mac Dre's past in a bad way, although Mac Dre was killed in 2004. Police should have left Mac Dre's name out of the entire case. Mac Dre can't control what a few of his friends do, especially when he's no longer alive. It is always said and believed that the police took down DRE'S Nation, but in reality, it was just a few members of DRE'S Nation and a couple associates who got caught up in the bust. The individuals who were from DRE'S Nation and charged with multiple counts of drug trafficking was Miami the Most, Dubee, Big Dot from the Romp, Little Bruce, Narc, and a couple associates like Jeezy, who was a Bay Area rapper, Pepe, Bodine, and Damian Peterson, who was the individual Dubee was arguing with about PSD being a snitch.
Bro, I'm telling you, Suge, you just don't want to admit it, man. I'm telling you, man. He didn't went back. Nigga, you can't say that without no paperwork. What, you just mad because the nigga, what the nigga, one of your bitches or something? I'm in Mike Fish yard on Simonton, arguing with Dane Peterson, which ended up being one of my co-defendants. We arguing over the PSD shit. I'm telling you, you can't say this without no paperwork, nigga. What is your ground for saying this? Hold on, you acting like you just got something against him.
So let's go back a little where all this started. Police been investigating Miami the Most since 2008. In July 2008, DEA agents found a confidential informant who led them to Miami the Most. In August 2009, an undercover agent for the DEA named Brian Nehring called Miami the Most to set up a deal and made his first buy of 200 ecstasy pills in Vallejo gas station parking lot. According to the police, surveillance agents in nearby cars watched as Miami the Most arrived in a silver Mercedes-Benz and greeted the undercover agent. Miami the Most told the the undercover agent that the Mercedes-Benz he was in used to belong to Mac Dre. He must have been speaking about the infamous S500 Benz that Mac Dre would always rap about in his music. He also gave the undercover agent a Kilo Kurt CD and the Trill TV DVD. Miami didn't know anything about the undercover agent. He only met him through the confidential informant who had introduced them. Their relationship only consisted of undercover drug transactions in and around gas stations and parking lots in Vallejo. The agent gained the trust of Miami, although Miami was just playing the middleman clocking some extra dollars. But police were trying to make him out to be this big drug kingpin and label him as the leader of the whole bust. According to court documents, the officer said Miami even finessed the undercover agent the second time they met after the pills turned out to be nothing but a mixture of caffeine and a cough suppressant. After numerous undercover drug buys and hours of surveillance and recorded phone calls, the DEA pulled the undercover agent Brian Naring in December 2010, so he was no longer meeting up with Miami. The police said their big break came in July 2008 when PSD the driver got cracked at the airport in Sacramento. Something strange about that day at the airport was that the same undercover agent Brian Naring, who was meeting up with Miami, was also called at the scene when PSD got arrested. But police say that the Vallejo detectives were already following Miami and a few other DRE'S Nation associates, and that the PSD arrest just confirmed their suspicions. So over the next 2.5 years, Miami unknowingly led the DEA into the drug bust in 2012. The undercover agent went from being called in the arrest of PSD to being introduced to Miami by the confidential informant in the same month, July 2008. Miami went on the run when the indictment came in 2012, but the police caught Dubee off guard. In an interview, Dubee said that one day he went to his parents' house and stayed the night. While Dubee was asleep in the morning, he woke up to the U.S. Marshals arresting him, thinking it was a dream at first. At first, Dubee was confused why he was arrested. When Dubee first hit the holding tank at the Vallejo Police Department, he noticed his friends Pepe and Bodine were in the other cell. They also ended up putting his other friend Narc in the cell with him. Dubee was still confused why he would be arrested with his friends. When police finally tried interrogating Dubee, he found out that police had it out for Miami.
So from that point, I thought it was just me. Some shit I did. So I'm like, what the shit about? I ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? What did y'all here for? And the marshal told me, say, maybe something you did in the past caught up with you. Take me to Vallejo jail holding tank at the Vallejo Police Department. And through the vent, I hear one of my partners, Pepe. I'm like, man, where they come get you? What the about? Cause I'm like, pay me and you ain't did nothing. My nigga Narc, they put him in the cell with me. Then I know it's something in regards to Miami. Because when little punk ass Vallejo police try to pull me out, and he say, you got anything you want to tell us? I said, nah, nigga, I don't even know what this is about. Where's your dude? I'm like, who you talking about, man? I don't know what you talking about. He like, who's not here? I'm looking at him. And he tried to play me. He motioned Miami name with his mouth. He got the recorder playing. So had I would have said, who you talking about, Miami? When he say, I would have been on the recorder, like I just told you, where
like
Miami
he was
at.
just telling. Yeah.
You feel me? So I'm like, man, I don't know what you're talking about. But now when I go back to the cell, I'm through the vent to my niggas. I said, bro, I don't know what it is, but it's something about the Dolphin. You feel me? Because even with the recording here, I'm not finna say Miami Steel. Bodine got arrested with his Pittsburgh Steelers jersey on. So I'm like, look at what you got on, Pittsburgh. They figure out what I'm talking about. So now they take us to Sacramento. Gathered up the dudes on the Oklahoma indictment, a related case to our shit. And they there. So I'm really like, who in the fuck is them? I don't even know them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when we actually went to court the next day, that's when the indictment came. And I talked to my lawyer, and he telling me, you know, basically all of y'all is picked up. Miami is the hub, and they feeling like, you know, Miami didn't serve this undercover DEA agent officer, and for every drug that he served them, when he got the pills, they saying he got them from you. When he got the coke, that's what you charged for. The heroin, that's what you charged for.
Dubee then realizes he was in a serious situation Dubee's lawyer told him that the district attorney named Jason Hicks is one of the best drug prosecutors, and he has tactics where he will drive someone crazy until they are ready to break and just want to take anything the courts are offering because they are so sick of Sac County. Dubee wanted the discovery paperwork so he can figure out who was behind all of this. The district attorney wanted to know who was gonna cooperate before handing over the discovery because he didn't want to give nobody the discovery so someone finds out all the evidence they have against them and then decide to cooperate. Dubee off top wasn't cooperating, so he instantly requested all the paperwork and was the first one to receive the discovery. Dubee and his co-defendant Narc went through the discovery together and seen how much evidence they had on everyone with phone call records and photos the police was secretly taking of everyone involved. They even had photos of some of the defendants in Oklahoma sending off drugs hidden in packages through the mail. Dubee came across information about someone in his discovery that was being referred to as confidential source 4 regarding his case. This was information nobody else but one person knew. When Dubee reads the background about confidential source 4, it sounded too familiar. The discovery mentioned how confidential source 4 was cracked from multiple DUI arrests. The discovery also mentioned that confidential source 4 was arrested in a Sacramento airport July 14, 2008 with a substantial amount of MDMA. Dubee puts 2 and 2 together and figures out confidential source 4 was Stephen Davison, aka PSD the driver. Dubee instantly felt hurt and betrayed that someone who was like a brother snitched on him. How can someone with so much history with Dubee, Mac Dre, and everyone else from DRE'S just rat like that over his own mess-ups, especially after Mac Dre passing away? Dubee also felt played because the whole time when everyone else was saying PSD was all bad, Dubee gave him the benefit of the doubt.
When you get to line K, and it say that this confidential source on July 14, 2008 was popped in the airport with a substantial MDMA, and they put it in the paperwork that Stephen Davison was popping that same day. Well, what you telling me? That you and this motherfucker got popped on the same day? When I read the paperwork, nigga, when you asked me who you told on, you wanted to see if I knew you told on me. Cause I was the one you told on. Well, one of them. It already was circulating that you had told on another little nigga from the spot that got caught up in the Oklahoma shit. When we read the discovery, because our discovery is intertwined with this related case as far as Oklahoma. When you read confidential source 2, which the background of confidential source 2 on their case match word for word the background of confidential source 4 on our case, you know these are the same 2 people. On that case is 2 of his cousins. In that paperwork, it say that this confidential source say he's related to 2 people on that case. So all this just coincidence? So now I got to call home. I'm the first one with the paperwork. I call home, bro, it's official. I seen it, bro. This shit landed right on my lap. All that shit I was talking about, you can't say this till you get the paperwork on it, bro, this shit landed right on my lap. The same motherfucker I was in his yard talking about it, Mike Fish, when I talked to him on the phone, he say, Lil Max, how you feel now? Damn. Fuck up.
Right after the 2012 indictment with Dubee and everyone else, PSD did his first interview since he got released from prison to promote his new album he just dropped around that time called Bullets and Bouquets. In the interview, PSD was explaining what he was arrested for and addressed the snitching allegations. In the interview, PSD didn't look confident and sure of himself. You can tell something was eating him up. PSD was rambling and looked uncomfortable. He also spoke about Mac Dre. On one part of the interview, he mentioned how him and Mac Dre didn't see from eye to eye, and how Mac Dre would warn him about going to jail for selling dope.
Had an incident in the airport in Sacramento, 08, July 14. Pledge had pills on me. I ended up convicted on that. They gave me 46 months. Fair time, you know what I'm saying, most of which was done in the county, Butte County, Sac County. It's 5,500 pills. 5,500 pills. Street value is whatever you can come up with. But, you know, they said it was worth well over $100,000 worth of pills, which is kind of crazy. That's the biggest thing, you know, you sit in the thing. In my situation, I couldn't bail, flight risk. They bring up everything you ever been arrested for, and I had a real serious arrest record. I had a real serious conviction record. I was convicted in '96, some guns, but that's my only felony conviction, so they couldn't use that against me. But at the same rate, the max of the case was 20 years. So I know a lot of people heard that and was like, man, nigga, that nigga gonna get 20. That nigga gonna get 20 years. I mean, nobody gets the max of the case. I mean, I joke all the time about, I had a time of my life, you know what I'm saying? It was cool. How I look at it, every nigga who I've known growing up watching overheads in the game, they catch a case, whether it be a domestic violence case or possession case or high-speed chase, anything. The character always come in question, the street cred always come in question. What he doing out? This nigga Bill, how do he Bill out? Or this nigga just did like 4 years, and you niggas, how much time you want this nigga to do? Google it. You know what I'm saying? You don't falsely report no bullshit. Back it up with some facts. But I expect that. The game been someone good, man. Nigga better say something about me. Because there's too much good shit you can say about me. I had a good lawyer too. I had some good lawyers, but a team of lawyers, not like I went out and spent OJ money. But I've been through this type of shit before. Not federal-wise. I want to just refer to him as the late, great, the Honorable Mac Dre, Andre Hicks. We didn't always see eye to eye. That's why he, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, if I don't know the story, he didn't want to deal with people like me. You know what I'm saying? Because he just wanted to rap and told me, basically prophesized what was going to happen to me, Nigga, you going to go to jail. You need to stop, Cuddy, come rap. Nigga, you dope.
In the interview, PSD is then asked about this nation and about the recent bust that happened with everyone. He named most of the people he was close with from the bust, like Dubee, Miami, and Pepe. In the interview, he even tries to make it seem as if everyone from Thizz who got busted will vouch for him that he didn't snitch. He even says how he didn't deal with Vallejo when it came to hustling dope.
I have a personal relationship with well over 60% of the people who arrested and did wind up. Dubee, of course. Miami's my family. Pay my people, baby, not my people. But they can tell you, as well as the people who know them, they can tell you that I'm not very personal with people. I never fucked around in Vallejo as far as the things I was doing, and not trying to be arrogant, but I'm beyond thoughts of what I was doing was beyond probably a lot of those guys' reach, like a lot of their thoughts. I know whatever they were doing, But again, I don't know nothing about that. I sympathize with them. I know what they're gonna go through. They need me. We speak, but that's a heavy situation. But I think it was even more heavier to hear. You know what I'm saying? That I could have been in some way involved with the takedown of that. But like I said, it's in writing, perfectly clear what was really going on. I didn't fuck around in Vallejo. I had wings, baby. Flying them off of it. That's what got me caught up. But like I say, my intervention has always been divine. You know what I'm saying? God has always stepped in and pulled me out of certain situations.
When you watch that interview, you just know something wasn't right. PSD looked nervous, fidgety, and kept looking down like if he was in trouble. That album he was promoting was his last album he's done till this day. Miami the Most was on the run for about 7 months until November 2012. The marshals found him and arrested him in Las Vegas. Little Bruce and someone else from the bust were the last 2 fugitives police were looking for. I remember right before the bust, my boy took me to Little Bruce's house. Little Bruce was starting to breed bullies, and my friend had his own kennel. There used to be a video on YouTube with Little Bruce taking his dog to my partner's house in Sacramento while he was still on the run from the police. And not too long after that YouTube video, Little Bruce ended up being found by the police. He was on the run for the longest out of everyone in the indictment. Now that everyone knew that PSD had snitched after Dubee figured out who confidential source 4 was, it was all bad for PSD. PSD quickly fell off in everything he did, even in music once the fans heard of him snitching. PSD was still going to the crest, even though his name was bad. There was a video on YouTube with someone pressing him for being over there. Dubee said in an interview that PSD was running his mouth, saying that when he bumps into anyone who was calling him a snitch, that they're gonna have to catch the fade. Rapper Sleep Dank bumped into PSD in the crest, and allegedly PSD beat up Sleep Dank. Sleep Dank went on an interview to disclaim these rumors. He also said that PSD been a snitch since 1986.
PSD, you had somewhat of an altercation with him. People are saying that he beat you up, man. Let's just break down your part of the story.
I ain't the one got to attack you.
Yeah.
I'm not being called a snitch, so whatever you heard me saying, you got to get down where you mad at. And that's how I feel about it today. Around that time, I might have knew he was a snitch, but you got to remember the whole hood didn't. So some people, I hear people saying questions like,
did you kind of expose him?
I knew it, but you know, sometimes when you in the hood, man, everybody not believing nothing. I already, the dude snitched in 86. Like come on, bro, I'm from the game. Like that's what people don't know about me. You know, he come in, he say what he had to say, and I'm like, bro, I'm not going out. It's dark, bro, in the crest. He with another known snitch, bro, and this dude got red eyes. So I'm like, it wasn't nothing like a scary hesitation and then I'm just like, bro, whatever you gonna do it right here. And I'm in the kitchen. So I'm like, all right, in my mind, he going outside, he coming back in. Ain't no way out of this one, bro. You fist a fight today. Okay. That's what I'm telling myself in my mind. So I went to one of the other Crest homies. I was like, bro, let me and him talk in the garage, because I knew that's where I was gonna have my fight. Yeah. So they act like they can't get the light on in the garage, and it's funny, it's dude's house. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, I can't get out of this one. So let me go take it to the back. Let me talk to him somewhere where it ain't gonna be outside, because I'm not going outside. Yeah. You know, say it go either way, I get the whooping. This fool is a snitch. He's looking for a title. I'm a title. Yeah. I don't really think he wanted to fight outside, to be honest. Because, you know, that's what I'm saying. You got to be careful, bro. I'm smart. If you known to be a snitch, you don't want your name destroyed, you'll kind of do anything to get your stripes back. And I would have been that stripe. So what I was doing was keeping it in the house. So I just all right, let's go in the back. And we went to my other partner room in the back. And we wrestled a little bit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, bro, like, he never was trying to hit me or swing on me. Like, we walking in the house, like first I had to push him in the kitchen. Because he hugging me, and then next thing you know, he talking to me, but a person was saying he was gun checking me or whatever. But I had been stopped carrying guns, because if it was that one, it'd have been over a while ago, because I'm just stupid like that, you know. But, you know, I didn't have one on me, though, because I stopped carrying around that time, you know what I'm saying? So, bro, whoever want to say this man put his hands on me, man, this man did not put his hands on me. He kept standing by me, and then he did something ultimately weird, bro, like that blew my mind, bro. You know, after we wrestled a little bit in the room, we knocked one of the Cuddy's TVs down or whatever, whatnot. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He was like, Cuddy, could you come outside with me to make me look good in front of the little Cuddys? Yeah. So now I'm all the way throwed off now. Like, you had the leeway, bro, but he didn't want to touch me. Only thing was we wrestled just because he was trying to talk. And he was reminding me of my daddy, how he was talking to me. So I was like, bro, don't do that. And we wrestled a little bit. That was it. Dog, he did not swing on me. Like,
although Sleep Dank denied these rumors of getting beat up by PSD, I've heard from someone who told me it wasn't just some wrestling going on, and that they knew people who were there that said that PSD really did put his hands on Sleep Dank. I'm not saying that Sleep Dank isn't telling the truth, I'm just saying that's just what I've heard. It's crazy how PSD went out like this after everything Mac Dre went through on doing time in prison behind the snitch Corey Dunn. Mac Dre made it clear he was anti-snitch in all his music. I doubt all of this would have happened if Mac Dre were still alive. It seemed like everything changed for the worse since the death, because Thizz no longer had their leader, sort of like the Tupac situation. Things can get out of control once a crew is lacking that one leader who kept everything together. Mac Dre was the breadwinner and was the way out. If Mac Dre was still alive, just imagine how big and ballin' Mac Dre and Thizz Nation would be. Not too long after PSD was released from prison, he got arrested July 2nd, 2012 after he allegedly committed a lewd act on a Vacaville woman, including sexual against the victim's will. I can't say the word on YouTube, but you get the idea. PSD also got charged with battery on a person inflicting serious bodily injury, assault by means of force likely to produce great bodily injury, threatening a crime with intent to terrorize, and false imprisonment. According to the police, the attack happened around 9:38 p.m. after the victim went to visit Stephen Davison, aka PSD, at an apartment complex. The encounter escalated with Stephen Davison allegedly hitting and kicking the victim multiple times before she ran partly clothed and screaming from the apartment, police said. PSD ended up beating those charges somehow. Dubee mentioned this in the interview and said he bumped into PSD in jail.
Then he catch the, you know, he fight the, he beat the, he come to Sacramento for the, see if they gonna violate him. They don't violate him. Word is, he talking about, I hope I run into them niggas and I'm gonna do this and that. He didn't run into us. He put you on another floor. You beat the violation. They didn't violate you for being on federal probation and catching a fighting the case for a year and beating it or whatever. You didn't violate for that. You went home. While you was home, you caught another DUI. They brought you back to see if they was gonna violate you for that. When I went to sentencing and we get shackled, what did they say? When they call them the names. Davidson, here. Oh, okay. Norton, I'm right here. He looked down, I seen. When we go to court, they put us, we ride to court all in the same van. We get to court, they put us all in the same tank. We shackled though. As soon as I get in the tank, bro, like, check it out. What's up? I'm really thinking, bro, finna be on some, I done heard all this tough nigga shit, you know, you hope you run into us or whatever. So I'm really thinking, you know, it's finna be, you know, when your shackles come off, nigga, we gotta get in. But it wasn't that. It was, that's how you turn the whole movement against me? And that fucked me up. I'm like, nigga, do you know what this paper say? I ain't turning shit against you, nigga. Then the nigga get at me like, Wizzle, you know, these feds, they play games, man. I would have felt that you'd at least gave me the benefit of the doubt and got at me to see how we could work against these people. Nigga, as far as I'm concerned, reading this paperwork, you with them people. I'm not saying shit.
Period.
I say, do you know in this same holding tank, I was in here with your cousins and they talked about, you know, how they felt about this situation? Basically, you talk to me like they trying to throw you in the bus because they f***ed off and they owe you some money or whatever. Man, why would the feds put you in this paperwork going against your cousins? Your cousins ain't said nothing about you to this paperwork. You know what I mean? And I'm listening to them and one of them tell the other one, see, I knew, even when he came to my house, he kept looking around and looking. I told you not to bring that nigga to my house. These your cousins, my nigga. Then when we go get sentenced, when you go get sentenced, they got a holding tank for the dudes that's going to court, and once you get your time or whatever, they put you in this cell so the police know that they can take you back downstairs. So it just so happened, me and him the last ones. I go take my 8 years, I come back, what's what they do. Now, really, while I was in the cell with him by myself, that's when I should have just, my nigga, tell me the truth. Nigga, what you told them people? But I'm so busy, tough asses, I want to throw it in his face. Nigga, I took my 8 years like it wasn't shit, nigga. Nigga, I'll be damned if I fuck my mom and daddy, my family name, nigga. I took that 8 like it wasn't shit, nigga. I'm finna go do that standing on my head. He said, what's what they get, 96 months? Time count, bail. Leave me right here. So when it came time to take my time, this 31 months count, right, over 96? Okay, and I get like a year good time, right? Okay, so that break 96 months down to what? 74, 84 months? You feel me? Okay, and I already got 31 in, and what you say, I'm eligible for the drug program, the RDAP shit, I can get a year off of that? So that means I'm gonna have to do, what's that, 72 months? 72 months, and then knock the halfway house time off of that. When I seen you at court, the PSD I know, you didn't look nothing like it. Oh, I don't wanna be look like I'm stressing, like I'm up, nigga, I'm doing this shit like a soldier, it's nothing. And that talk with him, the way he just went on explaining, I'm listening, and I'm like, this nigga might have went crazy. You done told yourself a lie so goddamn long, you believe it. Yeah. But when I got back, at the time, me and Pepe was cellies, and we talked about it. He one of my co-defendants, we talked about it. You know, because Pepe got a genuine love for the nigga, just like I do. You know, so we talked about it. And we both was hurt, and we was like, man, you see how he looking? Man, that shit eating him up, bro. But them demons you got to deal with, you know, you deep down, you know what you did.
Yeah, I just got the paperwork on this nigga. Yeah, this PSD nigga. I'm looking at it right now, my nigga. Wow.
Respect for the block, I did it. A nigga took chances, got jammed up, question, no answers.
Destined for Oklahoma. CS4 was searched as he attempted to board the plane.
Respect for the block, I did it. A nigga took chances, got jammed up, question, no answers.
Sacramento County Sheriff Deputy discovered $5,600 in U.S. currency broken down in $100 bills in Davidson's front pocket and a bag attached to Davidson's thigh.
Respect for the block, I did it. A nigga took chances, got jammed up, question, no answers.
His name is in one, and then the other one is just saying CS to letting you know that it's the same person. Yeah, I'm gonna bring you the paperwork, man. I don't even want to talk about it. Rat bastard.
Respect for the block, I did it. A nigga took chances, got jammed up, question, no answers.
Caught the nigga trying to fly with a DMA. Finish ain't. September 2009, you was doing proper interviews, trying to drop a dime.
We call him PSD, we call him CS4. He out to infiltrate the turf. He ain't no villain. I got your paperwork, boy. Say you been telling.
I'm not the snitch, I'm not PSD, the bitch. I hope they find your punk ass in a ditch. You hear the click, followed by the block eye. Blood clot, red dot, coming on off my chopper.
And all you get is slick, got his his own prison pen. Boy, you cold. You roll on your own blood.
I know shit about you that the world don't know. I know shit about you your little girl don't know. Like a mama was a minor when she gave you the pussy.
Look in my eyes, Cuddy, right before I squeeze this. Say goodbye to your nephews and nieces. This nigga cross game, shit on Dre's name.
Bitch, hope you heard that, cause I ain't here to mumble shit. Fuck PSD. PSD, you son of a bitch.
They say right here that you's a serial PSD, you been on bitches, and every time you catch a case, you get to breaking on niggas.
On the PSD diss tracks, Dubee mentioned other snitch allegations on PSD that were unrelated to the 2012 bust and how PSD snitched on his own cousins. J Diggs also mentioned how PSD ratted on his own cousins also. The craziest verse on the J Diggs diss was how PSD's daughter's mother was a minor when she got pregnant by him, and how he was a... I can't say it on YouTube, but you get what I mean. J Diggs also mentioned how he made PSD look for his own child. PSD came with his own diss track called Soul of a Gangsta, which was more dedicated to J Diggs. In the diss track, PSD said how Mac Dre didn't put out J Diggs' first album, Both Sides of the Gate, and how J Diggs wasn't a part of Thizz until Dre passed away. He then says how J Diggs wasn't a real Romper Room member, and names off the original Romp crew.
But he wasn't no pilot on the first album cover. That young black brother, you ain't seen that nigga on that album cover.
PSD also mentions the snitching allegations and says how there was no paperwork against him, but we know that's not true after Dubee exposed him. J Diggs did an interview with Vlad TV and spoke about the PSD situation.
Right around 2008, the FBI starts to investigate Thizz Entertainment.
Investigation started behind one of the guys that we used to deal with, PSD. PSD, the driver. PSD, you know, of course, he was part of our crew. He was part of he wasn't part of the Romper Room, but he was part of our family from the Crest. Him and Mac Dre and Dubee did an album called the CUTTHOAT Committee. At the end of the day, he did some cat shit. He fucked around and tried to hop on a plane with 6,000 pills. He had them taped to him and all the shit. He just started talking, and he got a full fucking investigation put on the whole nation, basically. Some of the shit that he told was true, but he made up shit. You know, he did shit to do. Basically, they told him, you know, you got caught with 6,000 pills, my nigga. You finna go down. So what you need to do is you need to get enough information to get you on the street. So, you know, some people, you know, they gonna take that, you know. So this nigga, for some reason, he jumped on the other side of the fence and he decided to deal with them people when he got an investigation started. He wore wires. He did. It was more than just tell. He actually cooperated and wore wires. He actually cooperated and wore wire on people. Like he said some shit that was he told these people that me, Mac Dre, and I think Kilo was sending pills to Kansas City back in, like, he was just like, Dre was dead. Like, why would you tell him the dead, man? Like, the nigga was, he was just saying shit. And Dre wasn't even sending no pills. So he had to feed them enough information, like I said, to make them feel like, okay, we'll give you a time cut with all the shit. The indictment got basically built behind Miami. Miami was introduced to basically a police officer. And the police officer would call Miami for something. And Miami would call somebody else for it. Like, he might call, say, hey, just doing some middleman shit, you know, trying to make a few dollars. And every time he would do that shit, they was listening. So they had Miami phone tapped, and then everybody he called, they tapped. So only in jail for a couple years. And then one day he just come home like, my nigga, what you doing home?
PSD?
Yeah, just come home out of nowhere. Dubee called from jail to confirm it. You know what I mean? Once your co-defendant called and say, hey, my nigga, this nigga told me it's over. So everybody started, then the paperwork came out. So after that happened, he just disappeared. Like, you ain't, if you look, he turned off his social medias.
After Dubee received 8 years in federal prison, he ended up being freed and came home in 2018 after doing a drug program and having good time, which took off 2 years of his sentence. Since he completed the drug program, he was able to do 9 months in a halfway house, so he ended up doing 5 years and 3 months behind bars and doing the remaining 9 months in a halfway house, which was 6 years altogether. Dubee has been a free man since he got out of prison in 2018. He has been enjoying life and still rocking shows till this day. Miami the Most received the most years in prison than anyone else, which was 14 years in federal prison because the police over-exaggerated and made him out to be the leader of the whole case. Miami ended up being free and came home in May 2020 and finished the remainder of his time on house arrest after being in prison for 8 years. Little Bruce did a few years and was released from prison before Miami and Dubee. They all kept it solid, did their time, came home, and been living their life ever since without having to snitch like PSD. Now for PSD, I can't say the same thing. To this day, He hasn't dropped a new album since Bullets and Bouquets in 2012. He dropped a few music videos in 2014, and all the music he was making was straight ass cheeks. He didn't have that sound he used to have when he was running with DRE'S Nation. You can tell he was trying to change his style and sound like some of the rappers of that time, but it was horrible and sounded super corny.
I'm an OG fucking on your auntie. I'm an OG could have been your daddy. Had your mammy running for me with them baggy. So your people took a case from me, that's classic. Had a lawyer on the case and without asking. Don't understand my car, I speak German. My milk white old school Chevy estate churning. Butter bitch, quit me, I got another bitch. The driver, fresher than the water bitch. Fuck what you talking about, open up wide, let me fuck your mouth. No real gang, no real shit, no spill name.
PSD also disappeared from all social media platforms. That's how you know everything that was said about him was the truth, because he never felt the need to clear his name. He did one diss in 2014 and then disappeared. In 2019, someone uploaded a video on YouTube of PSD pulling up to the crest and getting into an altercation with him, making him leave. I also thought PSD probably moved out of state to hide out, but someone told me that allegedly PSD isn't hiding because the police protect him. He also told me that he lives near Fairfield and that he works out at a gym in Vacaville. I can't say any of that is a fact because someone that I don't know informed me with that information. PSD must live a shameful, quiet, lonely life these days. He went from being a popular rapper to an ex-former member of DRE'S Nation who did something you can never come back from by snitching on his own family and someone who was like a brother to him. But nothing is slimier than when PSD allegedly told the police a lie about Mac Dre bringing in pills to Kansas City. You ought to be ashamed of yourself if that's true. Can't say that for sure happened because J Diggs said he thinks that PSD said that. So tell me what y'all think in the comments right now. Would you have did the same thing if you were PSD and sacrificed your own homeboy for a lighter sentence? Or would y'all have sat in the feds for possibly 10 to 12 years? If any of y'all had to think about it, then that game is definitely not for you. Also, if you were PSD's partner and you seen them red flags when he was still dealing with them two known snitch brothers, Sean and Brandon Winston, would y'all have cut him off right there or continued to do business with him? Let me know right now in the comment section. If y'all made it to the end of this video, I really appreciate you for the support. I hope you enjoyed this documentary. I worked really hard on it, and it took me a while to get it put together the right way. I did this for the real Mac Dre fans. I could care less about the views and the money. I could have just did this video quick and just threw it out there for views and money, but I like to put my all into it and produce quality content for y'all. If you made it to the end of the video, man, shout out to you. I appreciate all my supporters. I really hope you like this documentary. I put my all into it. I put really time into this and really try to work and put all my effort as much as I can. And I know I take a long time and sometimes it can get frustrating, but you know, I just want my stuff to come out the right way, and I just want it to come out perfect, and I just don't want to just hurry up and just throw anything out there that I'm not happy about like I have before. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that content. Let me know what you think in the comments right now. Let me know who you want me to do next, or who you want me to touch on, or any stories you want me to touch on. Check out that Patreon right now. I got some dope stuff on there. I'm about to start putting some dope stuff that will not be allowed on YouTube, so make sure you check that out. On this documentary, I really wasn't trying to pick sides. You know, it sounds like that I'm really bashing PSD, but I really was just speaking my mind. I like to speak my mind on my videos and my documentaries. I don't like to just tell the story. I like to speak what I feel. So I know he probably will see this documentary, and I know he's not going to be happy with it, but I mean, it's the truth, and it's nothing that's nobody knows. It's just the first time it's been documented and talked about. So I really been a part of this whole movement, this whole DRE'S movement, Mac Dre movement. I've really been a part of it. I've seen it. I grew up with it. I'm not just some goofy on YouTube making videos. Like, I really come from this, you know, I really come from this era, and I really have a passion for this. And, you know, that's
what I know the most about when it comes to all these rappers that I touch on, and that's the subject that I really know from the beginning to the end. You know, I might not get everything right, but I try to get as much as I can right. I try to do the best research I can, and I just hope that PSD, if he sees this, like, just understand what you did, and I can't sit there and just sugarcoat what you did. So if it sounds like I'm picking sides, or I'm just trying to clown on you, I'm not trying to do all that. You know, I don't respect what you did. I don't respect what he did, and I don't respect people that do that type of stuff. I don't care who you are. So even though I listen to his music for a lot of time in my life, and sometimes when his music comes on, I still have to listen to it because it might be a Mac Dre song. So I don't just skip the song because the PSD's on it. So I just hope he understands where I'm coming from, you know? Like, we don't respect none of that. Nobody's gonna respect none of that. I come from an era where we look down upon that. So I don't respect what he did to Dubee, mostly, and that's someone I really respect and listen to. I know I sound like I'm picking sides, but definitely I just like to speak my mind. So just know that, and that's how I make my videos. Like it or not, that's how I do it. So anyways, thank you for watching this documentary. Make sure you check out that Mac Dre documentary. You know I'm about to make that real dope, man. I don't care what nobody says to me at this point. I don't care who likes it or not. I'm really about to just go crazy on this and show the fans a real Mac Dre documentary, even though I'm gonna touch on subjects that a lot of people don't like to listen to or hear and remember, but it's real life. So it's what I do, and this is my passion. It's what I do, and if you don't respect it, then don't watch it. You know, I have some people that hit me up, even rappers that I'm not even gonna say names, just one rapper really, or someone that's a part of this music industry that's not too happy with all these Mac Dre videos and at least some of the subjects. And I'm not gonna let no one stop me. That's straight up. And let me know how you feel, you know? I ain't ducking nothing, straight up. I ain't ducking nothing. I'm out here. You can see me. I'm all up in the Bay Area, Sacramento, all through this. And I show myself I'm out here, and I ain't ducking nothing. So if you don't respect what I do, then that's good. That's cool. Just keep it to you, and just know that ain't nobody stopping me from this Mac Dre documentary. And just know that it's coming, and it's for sure coming. But at the same time, I do understand that particular person and why he's not feeling these videos and having to remember all this stuff that happened, all this traumatic events that happened towards Mac Dre. And I understand that, you know, and I respect him. And I'm not even trying to come at him or disrespect him any type of way. He's someone that I really looked up to as a child, as a kid, you know, growing up. And I still do look up to him, and I respect him. And this is someone I do want to meet one day, you know, and want to be able to give his flowers while he's still alive. And I want to be able to meet Dubee, and I want to be able to meet Coolio the Underdog, and all these people that I grew up watching my whole life and looking up to. And just like how this new generation looks up to, like, King Von and all these new rappers and NBA Youngboy, that's exactly how I looked up to these rappers growing up, you know, when I was a teenager. I used to look at them just the same way. So I got tremendous respect for all of them. I definitely feel like I'm the right person for this Mac Dre documentary, because everybody knows, if you know me in real life, you know I'm a big Mac Dre head, like since I was probably 9 years old. So like, Mac Dre's been in my life my whole life. You know, I got a son named Andre. I got Mac Dre tatted on me, you know, like, and I'm not no fanboy either. Like, that's one rapper I really, truly have like a big respect for, and I looked up to him, and I still do. And even though I didn't know him, and I look at Mac Dre like how people look at Tupac, you know, that's like my Tupac. And I feel like I am the right person to tell the story, because even though I didn't know him, I know his story, you know. I know a lot about him, and this is what I do. And I know a lot of people have a bad taste with these YouTubers that do what I do, because of like YouTubers like Swamp Stories, that, you know, he does a lot of trolling and disrespecting and hides his face, don't show himself. He ain't a part of this community. He ain't a part of our culture. This is someone that's coming straight from a whole other background that we don't understand, and that's hiding his face and his identity, and just touching all these subjects and making fun of all this like it's a game, like if it's some funny movie or something. And I don't do that, you know. I did the documentary with Johnny Cash's mom, and that was one of my first documentaries that I really truly did, and I didn't know what I was doing. And I reached out to his mom and got her respect, and I'm still friends with her to this day. I try to give every rapper that I talk about, even if I talk about real sticky subjects, I like to give them all my respect. I like to reach out to them, their family members. When I did the Pretty Black documentary, I reached out to all his folks, and it was tight doing that, and I felt good doing it. I know a lot of, and just like I said, how maybe this particular someone is not the biggest fan with these Mac Dre stories about his death and anything that's negative or hard to hear, but I just want to be able to not let Mac Dre's name go away or fade away. I want to be able to tell these stories and let this new generation and all these youngsters know what we had growing up and who we looked up to, and he's a legend, you know. He's a legend, and it's been 21 years since he passed away, and it can't fade away, you know. No one else is doing it, so this is what I do, and this is my passion. This is what I always want to do for a living, and now I'm doing it. I really want to do this Mac Dre documentary, and just know that I'm coming. I have all the right intentions and all the respect for everybody that's a part of Mac Dre's story, and his family, his daughter, his mother, everybody from DRE'S, Dubee, Miami, everybody. Like, I respect all y'all, and I always have a tremendous respect for y'all, and I just want to let y'all know that, you know, I want to give you guys your flowers while y'all still alive, and I'm not trying to just act like that I'm just not caring what no one says. I'm just gonna do what I want to do and just do this Mac Dre documentary and not care what anyone thinks. But I want y'all to be on my side and just know that I got a good heart, and I'm doing this for the right reasons, and I'm doing this to document a true legend, you know, that people don't know too much about. And yeah, the world loves him and all that, but we need to document his whole life, not just the good parts, you know. It got to be everything, the bad parts, the ugly parts, the sad parts, and the best parts, the happy parts, everything he accomplished, and that's what I'm gonna do. So just know I got good intentions, man, and support me, you know, support that. I'm a real one doing this. I ain't no goofy, so just know that. All my supporters that keep hitting me and asking me when is it coming out, just know that it takes time for greatness to come out the right way. So just know that I'm really putting my all into this, and I'm taking my time. Anyways, thank you for everything y'all do for me. Make sure you check out that Patreon. Until next time, I'm out.
PSD, son of a bitch.
Snitch, I'm not PSD the bitch. I hope they find your punk ass in the ditch.
Fuzz, you told on duty. Or a wire on your cousin, you the new Crest Pookie.
Respect for the block, I did it. A nigga took chances, got jammed up, question, no answers.